Another notion is, in the beginning of this presentation, I was talking about the dominance of English. And then, but when you talk about the dominance of English, or it's always a kind of native speaker, non-native speaker dichotomy. Yes, I think the scholars like who proposed native, non-native movement, as well as the, for example, which language is better or something, and that provided a alternative view of the dominance of one particular language, in most cases English. But I think now we can think about more translingual nature of societies. I think there are a lot of languages used in Indonesia, and also Japan. People feel that Japan is a monolingual country, but actually, if you go to the cosmopolitan city, it's a big city like Tokyo. Tokyo is like Jakarta, and it's a very multicultural city. And you cannot really survive for 2 hours without encountering any foreign language. But it is very nationalistic view, kind of ethnocentric view of what we call Japanese think as the Japanese is the only language and you can use Japanese, everybody has to speak Japanese, etc. But it is not true in many parts of the world. Applied linguistics has been a very monolingual orientation, but you really have to realize the translingual orientation of applied linguistics. I know that letters are small short, but I will just go over what Kanagaraja said in the translingual practices. Now, he said that language, it has been in a monolingual orientation. Language is equal to the community and equal place. So this one language is always level. For example, so you have all the national boundaries there. It's a language. And it's not true that one language, two communities, two language, one community, or multilingual. That is the default now. Language as a self-standing system, no. And languages are pure and separated from each other. No. I know. If you go there and then you are constantly switching language depending on the situation and whom you are talking to. The locus of language as cognition rather than social context or mind doesn't matter. No. It's a social context plays an important role of the language use. Communication are based on grammar rather than practice and isolated from its ecological embeddedness. Now I think Kanagaraja kind of framework is really of monolingualism. And he actually proposed on the right-hand side here. So this is something, the direction that we are dealing with the language, but we also think about the applied linguistics of future. Language resources are mobile, fluid, and hybrid. So as I think the discipline applied linguistics is mobile, constantly changing, active, fluid, and hybrid. Labeled languages, language varieties have a reality in social group. Yes, but it is actually keep changing. Communities are changing. So as academic disciplines are changing, relational and inherently heterogeneous, and that can be said of the academic disciplines as well. Finally, the translinguals are those who have capacity to use the language in relation to other code and society and their personal repertoires. And I think with the language teachers, it may not be the central part of this topic, but now this is what the language teacher need to produce this kind of students here. So applied linguistics in the future, this conclusion, applied linguistics in the multilingual society, again, I think the era which the time that we are talking about applied linguistics being subfield of linguistics or attached to one particular language, one particular discipline, I think it's over. We have to think about multilingual nature and collaboration with various academic disciplines. Now, linguistics is not necessarily of the center of applied linguistics. This is more on the problem solving. It's more important. Even though that you may get the idea from education and sociology, without talking about phonology, syntax, and morphology, that is possible as far as you can solve any problem. You can contribute to solve any problem. And what we call applied linguistics. Diversity within applied linguistics or whatever we call it, and role of higher education. Most of you are in higher education, at least in education. It is important when you are in a position of training teacher or future applied linguistics. This is very important. Again, I call for the go beyond applied linguistics to go beyond English and go beyond language teaching. Terima kasih and thank you very much.